Welcome everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are in the world today. We're glad to have the opportunity to reach out to you and connect after the cancellations of major exhibitions and events because of the COVID-19 crisis. So thank you for joining us for this Falcon 6X webinar. My name is Séverine Mondy. I am Falcon Marketing Development Manager based in Saint-Cloud, France. And today we are going to present you our new Falcon 6X, a game changer in the business aviation industry. We'll start with an overview of the aircraft and then share with you the latest program updates. Let's get started now with our Falcon 6X presentation. The three speakers today are part of the Falcon marketing team here in Saint-Cloud. We have Patrick Parnis, our Senior VP Marketing and Product Strategy, Philippe Régnier and Frédéric Réchet, both Senior Sales Engineers. And I leave the mic to Patrick.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. As Séverine said, our presentation will have two parts. A presentation of the product with an overview, a zoom on the cabin, which is the main differentiator for this aircraft, technology, and how we use our level of technology, in particular to improve safety, flexibility, which is the main differentiator for all business jets and mainly for Falcons, and of course, some word about the environmental aspects, which are very key today for you. And in the second part, a short overview of where we are today, with the main message that we are clearly on track with what we committed at the beginning, at the launch of the program in 2018. So this is a view of your future Falcon. As you can see, as usual, a beautiful aircraft, and I hope you will enjoy flying it soon. This chart presents the overall family, Falcon family, and you can see on the left-hand side the out-of-production aircraft, Falcon 2050. In the middle, the in production with the Falcon 2000, 900, 7X, and 8X. And on the right-hand side, the Falcon 6X. The X-axis is the cabin size, cabin diameter, and you can see the 6X, it's a new cabin cross-section. In a Y-axis, you have the range. 5,500 is not the max range in our family, but you will see it's a very good compromise, between size, between range, and you will get a lot of city pairs thanks to this range value. The cross-section, as said before, is the main differentiator. The cross-section is bigger even than the biggest one on the market today, the 650. The max cross-section, the max dimension, the max width is 285, same as the 650. G700 also will be the same. But at floor level and in height, you have a significant advantage with the 6X, as you can see on this picture. So bigger cross-section. And when you compare it with the direct competition on the same segment, the G500 and G600, you can see there a huge difference in terms of width and in terms of height. And you will see later on in the presentation that it's the same compared to the global family. Now, some general overview, a new cabin standard, I have said, but also a new engine, a new wing, new aerodynamic control areas, and a new step in the digital flight control system, and also an improved flight deck. The engine is based on an existing core, but it's a new engine. The max thrust is 13,500 pounds. The bypass ratio is very high, and thanks to that, you get a very fuel-efficient engine, as well as a very efficient in terms of noise. The noise target is to be 15 dB below stage 4, which is the actual regulation, and with a significant margins even compared to the future regulation, the chapter 14. In terms of general size, 26 meter long, 26 meter wingspan. This is almost the same size as the 8X, but compared to the competition, very more compact aircraft, even with a bigger cabin, more range, still the Falcon characteristics and optimized aircraft. Some word about the general performances. The max range, as I said before, is 5,500, but even at Mach 0.85, you get more than 5,000 nautical miles, 5.1 thousand. You can fly up to Mach 0.9, And concerning the low speed performance, balanced Finland, which is this takeoff distance, 5,500 feet, landing distance under 2,500. And of course, as usual, this aircraft will be able to perform each steep approach, constraining steep approach, such as London City, Lugano, and so on. So this is clearly the best compromise between high speed and low speed flexibility you could get on this market segment. Now I let Frédéric comment on the different city pairs you can perform with this range at Mach 0.8 and Mach 0.85.
Thank you, Patrick. In fact, with this 5,500 nautical miles, the 6X can fly from Paris up to the west coast of the US, as you can see, up to Los Angeles, or it covers Asia and full South Africa. Another example from Beijing, Mach 8 passengers. So from Beijing, you cover easily Europe, as you can see, up to Paris. You cover Australia, and you can reach the west coast of the US, mainly San Francisco. Another example is from Moscow. So from Moscow, you cover Indonesia up to Johannesburg and, of course, the east coast of the US, but up to Vancouver. So it was for Mach 8.0, but additionally, the 6X will offer worldwide connections at Mach 8.5 in the same configuration than before, I mean 8 passengers. It offers a lot of interesting city pairs. You can fly from Los Angeles to London, Mach 8.5, from Paris to Beijing, or Paris to Johannesburg. Patrick?
Thank you, Frédéric. Now we will have a zoom on the cabin, the main differentiator of the aircraft, the cabin, with 3 main aspects you are interested in. The general size, of course, tallest and widest cabin. Luggage compartment is very interesting. We know this is very major concern for you. But also the cabin environment is key, we have understood, as well as the connectivity, high-speed connectivity, high-speed internet, and all these things are major concern for you. And you will see that with this aircraft, you will get the best in all these domains. Regarding now the floor plan is a free lounges aircraft, classical free lounges with 12.3 meter long, almost the same as the 8X, but with a bigger cross-section, so you get bigger cabin volume with 52.2 cubic meter. In the early configuration, we will get a choice among these 3 configurations. You can see 3 different rear lounges between 2 up to 14 passengers. And just after the first 20 aircraft, you will get another type of entryway. In the second, for example, in the middle, you can see a large entryway with a crew rest. The crew rest is on the right-hand side of the galley. And even in that case, you will get a very comfortable passenger cabin. Compared to competition, as said already, compared to the Gulfstream G500, you can see a significant advantage in terms of cross-section. And even compared to the Global, which is slightly bigger than the Gulfstream, even in that case, you will have a significant advantage in terms of max width, in terms of width at floor level, and in terms of height, up to 3 inches, which is very significant. And this leads also to a significant advantage in terms of passenger cabin volume, as the length compared to competitor, the length of the cabin is almost the same. So you get the same advantage as you have on the cross-section, which means about 15% advantage in terms of volume for the passenger. In the entryway, you will have this famous skylight, a window on the ceiling that bring natural lighting in the entryway, which is generally a dark area. And last but not least, in terms of general volume, the luggage compartment, you will have easy access both in flight, easy loading and unloading, generous capacity with more than 4.4 cubic meter, and an additional unpressurized baggage compartment of 2.15 cubic meter. This was for the general volume of the cabin and the luggage compartment. But what we know also it's very important for you is the cabin environment. So we have developed a specific brochure on this item you will be delivered with at the end of this presentation. 7 items have been identified as far as cabin environment is concerned: the air quality, the pressurization, temperature distribution, humidity level, acoustic, brightness, flying qualities, behavior under turbulence. And you will see that in each of these 7 domains, when you buy a Falcon, when you get a Falcon, you have the best on the market. So I will not go into details today for these different aspects. We will organize a specific webinar if necessary. Just one word about the air quality. We know it's a major concern for you today. Keep first in mind one figure. When you fly a business jet, a Falcon or any business jet, you have in fact 5 to 10 times more cabin volume, air volume available per passenger than in a commercial aircraft. And as far as the time of air renewal is almost the same, in fact, you get finally a virus's concentration in the air, if any, of course, in the same ratio between 5 to 10. So when you fly a business jet, a Falcon, of course, you are very free compared to commercial aircraft. And it's the same, in fact, compared to your office building, the ratio is almost the same. So as far as you apply our recommendation we have published in our documentation and explained during a specific webinar, separation between passenger, disinfection of the aircraft, you are free, don't afraid of that. After that, you have some OEM advertising on 100% fresh air. In fact, this is only communication. For all business jets, the new air is coming from the engine. It's in fact bleed air. It's not fresh air. Of course, this air is filtered through specific filters. The air quality is compatible with the regulation. There is no risk for you, but it's not fresh air. It's bleed air for all of us. So in fact, we are all in the same world. After that, some OEM use part of recirculation technology. This is better for humidity control, for fuel consumption optimization, in order to protect you when you are near the airports. This is better, but the difference is very small, very negligible compared to the step you have when you compare a business jet to a commercial aircraft or your office building. So you are very free when you fly this kind of aircraft. Now, I let Philippe comment on the third aspect linked to the cabin, the connectivity.
Yes. Yes, some words about our new connectivity solution named Falcon Connect. So connectivity, you know, is a more and more important topic, speaking about business jets. And our customers are looking for a seamless and a flexible, comprehensive and reliable solution. And that's exactly what Falcon Connect is. With Falcon Connect, Dassault integrates and validates the hardware and the provider together in order to provide a global connectivity solution. So with Falcon Connect, you have these 5 points you see on this slide. So a seamless connectivity all-in-one plan. So you choose the SATCOM and the hardware, the router, the provider, the services, everything is included. It's very easy and it's very easy to choose. You have a dedicated support with a single point of contact. So in case of issue, you have only one phone and someone answer Falcon Connect, hello. So that's very easy and that's all. You have one plan and one bill for all the communications for the cockpit, cabin, or ground communication. So all the different subscriptions are put together on the same bill. So easier to follow the different subscriptions. We provide custom and competitive plans of subscription. There is always a plan dedicated to your need and according to the SATCOM installed on your aircraft. Should you need a lot of amount of data with a K-band, for example, or less with Iridium, there is always the right subscription plan for you. And a lot of services are included with Falcon Connect, VoIP, firewall or VPN, applications to control the flow of data in the cabin. You can see what kind of devices are connected to internet and you can switch off, for example. So you have the hand, you have the management of the devices in the cabin, or you can even control the quality of the connection during the flight. So what you have to remember when you will choose your SATCOM for your Falcon 6X is that Falcon Connect is the first and only complete and fully integrated connectivity solution. So in fact, you won't find any better or more competitive solution on the market to connect your Falcon.
Thank you, Philippe. So as a summary for the cabin, 3 aspects. You have seen that with your 6X, you will get the biggest cabin in terms of passenger cabin as well as luggage compartment. You will get the best environment and also the highest connectivity, the best connectivity on the market, the best offer you can find on the market. So now some word about technology. Technology also is key for business jet, and you know that we have been for years at the leading edge in this field. This is mainly due to our military heritage, same teams working on these 2 types of aircraft, same culture. So we have used for years the technology advance in order to improve the global efficiency of our aircraft. You know that Falcons are 20 to 60% more fuel efficient than their direct competitors. And this is the result of this global optimization at aerodynamic level, structure level, and global integration definition of the aircraft. But technology is also key to improve and to increase safety. And this is what I wanted to point today and give you 4 examples where this technology level can make the difference. Cockpit and avionics, flight control system, you know that this is key for safety. Fuel system and fuel tank protection also, and also manufacturing quality, how we combine all and we install all these different systems to make the best aircraft on the market, the safer aircraft. So let us have a look on these 4 different aspects. First one, avionic. Avionic, you know that we have introduced a significant breakthrough in this world, in the aviation world in 2003 with the Easy Avionics. Easy is a more simple, more integrated avionics, very different compared to previous generation, and this has significantly reduced the pilot workload and improved safety. Of course, we have been followed in this direction, but today, with the 6X, we get all the improvement we have made in this domain. Of course, with a bigger and more comfortable cockpit for the pilots, but also with smart system, simple system that will give the pilot the right information, the most simple information to reduce over time the pilot workload. And this cockpit will be also equipped with Falcon Eye. What is Falcon Eye? Falcon Eye is an integrated system where you presented on a head-up the external view, a synthetic vision, an infrared vision of the exterior view, combine both of these even in night condition or bad weather condition. This significantly improves the pilot awareness and the safety level. We have introduced this new breakthrough in 2016 on the 8X and the 900. And now I'll let Philippe comment on this system. You will see it will make the difference.
Yes, exactly. So some slides about Falcon Eye.
our new combined vision system. Falcon Eye is a real breakthrough feature for a clear vision, whatever the visibility condition outside of the aircraft are. How does that work? So this is possible thanks to a new camera, mainly. The camera is really the revolutionary feature of Falcon Eye. This camera is the most advanced sensor on the market today. It provides a high-performance image thanks to its multi-sensor design with 6 sensors integrated into the camera to cover a large bandwidth, so infrared and low light in day or night conditions, and with a high quality of image thanks to the high definition resolution of the camera. Plus, the camera is flush mounted on the nose cone of the Falcon 6X, so very well integrated on the nose cone for a better aerodynamics integration, so less drag and less noise due to this camera. The camera is capable of detecting the LED lights. So the LED lights are the modern lights for runways and taxiways today, and they don't emit any heat. It's not hot, and so these lights cannot be seen with old infrared-only sensor. And Falcon Eye features a dedicated sensor for that, for detecting LED lights very well. Another strong point of Falcon Eye is the head-up display, which is totally new, with a very wide field of view and comfortable for the pilot. So whatever the position of the head of the pilot, he will see everything through the head-up display very well. This system permits also operators to perform what we call some EFVS, so Enhanced Flight Vision System operation. It means that it gives operational credits during an approach in bad weather, so the pilot can go down below the minimaz and continue the approach instead of go around or instead of reaching another airport because of the poor visibility. So at the end, it improves the mission reliability. But instead of text, I will show you a short video just after of an approach by a very foggy day. You will see on the left part of the screen, a camera is fixed outside the aircraft and gives a natural view of the external world during the approach. So you will see a very badly during the approach and very late the lights of the runway. On the right part of the screen, you will have the vision of the pilot, like you were in the cockpit, through the head-up display with Falcon Eye activated. So, go for the video. So you see the difference. You can see everything all along the approach with Falcon Eye. The lights, the runway threshold, the details around. Also, you see almost nothing but the fog with the natural vision. So you see it gives a real benefit in terms of situational awareness. What I wanted to show you also is a comparison with a Falcon competitor system, Bombardier. Same kind of system, but you will see that regarding the technology and the performance, there is no match. The 6 sensors and the large bandwidth of detection of Falcon Eye gives the highest image quality for Dassault systems. The excellent detection in any adverse weather, so day or night, LED or incandescent light, gives the clearest vision always in any condition for Falcon Eye. Bombardier's camera is only 3 sensors with only infrared detection plus the LED lights, so a much lower bandwidth and less resolution, so globally not the same level than Falcon Eye in terms of technology and quality of image. So comparing with Falcon Eye, which detects infrared plus LED lights plus night plus day low visible lights, so a much larger bandwidth. In fact, everything is detected by Falcon Eye. You can see everything in any conditions, which is clearly not the case with the Bombardier solution. More than that, the design of the combined vision system is unique on Falcon Eye, with a clear priority rule between the video, so the real world, and the synthetic images. With Falcon Eye, the pilot always knows perfectly what he is seeing in the head-up display. It's a very important point for safety. Competitor system just superimpose both images with the risk of confusion between the synthetic and the reality. So it's not safe from our point of view. To conclude, Falcon Eye is clearly a step further on the market and far beyond the competition, thanks to the camera and thanks to the design of this combined vision system.
Just a summary on the cockpit. You have understood that there with Falcon Eye and with Easy, we are far beyond the competition. And this is good, of course, for safety, performance and safety. Second point we wanted to show, to point today regarding safe technology and safety is the flight control system. For years now, we use the term digital flight control system. It's a complex word. What does it mean in fact? So first, let's have a look on the classical flight control system. On this system, you have physical links between the aerodynamic control surfaces on the right-hand side of this slide and the pilot control on the left-hand side of this slide. Physical link, one pilot control dedicated to one aerodynamic control surfaces. When the pilot wanted to change the trajectory, he had to think on what kind of control surfaces he had to move, then act on the corresponding pilot controls, work a lot in order to find the new equilibrium position, and after that reduce the effort he had to maintain, which we call trimming the aircraft. So a lot of work. With the digital flight control system, in fact, we have removed these physical links, as you can see on this slide, and replaced by electrical links in order to transmit the order and actuator just near the control surfaces. So you replace physical links with a pilot making the effort by electrical link and actuator that provide the effort. This is what we call fly-by-wire. But in addition, we have had a computer, not only a computer with redundancies in order to ensure the good level of safety, a computer which is the brain of the system. And there you get the DFCS, Digital Flight Control System. And this computer can add value to the system. What kind of added value? 3 different points I would like to explain. The first one is it's easy to understand. As there is no more physical link, for a given order, you can use a lot of control surfaces as far as this combination increase the global efficiency of the system, and which is the case. Thanks to that, you can increase significantly the efficiency of your system. This is the first point. The second added value, the computer can easily identify when the aircraft could be in a dangerous situation and provide to the pilot the right information in order the pilot recover a safety condition, protection. And the third one, the most difficult one to get perhaps, and there you need years of expertise, and this is our case in Dassault Aviation, you can change completely the way you pilot the aircraft and let the system do all the tasks as presented, I explained just before. Find the good control surfaces, act on it, maintain the new equilibrium position, trim the aircraft. All these things can be done automatically by the system. And there you reduce significantly the pilot workload and increase the safety. The pilot has just to indicate the new slope he wants to follow, the new bank angle, and the system do everything for it. Of course, you need a lot of expertise to do that. And thanks to that, you are able to land this kind of aircraft, complex aircraft, even unstable, on this kind of very complex runway. So we are alone, and we are the only OEM on the market, on this market segment, to do this kind of, and to have this kind of maturity in this technology. So let us have a look on our competitors. And just one example, Gulfstream recently faced a hard landing, an incident with the G500 in Teterboro in March. And following these incidents, FAA made an airworthiness directive. You can have a look on it. It's published on the web. So following this incident, now the G500 and the G600 now are facing very strong operational limitation. And we will give you some example of that just after. Another point, following this incident, also Gulfstream have made some recommendation and published a video for the pilots, video published in the web, where the director of flight operation recommends the pilot to fly the aircraft in trim. In fact, Gulfstream is asking their pilot to do what our digital flight control system is doing automatically. So this conclusion is very clear. I have nothing to add. If you want to improve the safety, fly your Falcon, Gulfstream said. So I think it's a clear demonstration of the advance of our digital flight control system, and be confident when you fly a Falcon, you get the highest level of safety you can have on the market today. Now, what new with the 6X, starting from the 7X, 8X architecture as you have on this slide. With the 6X, in fact, we have increased the domain where the digital flight control system has the control. In fact, all control surfaces, even the secondary control surface, slats, flap, air brakes, as well as nose wheel steering, is now under the control of the digital flight control system, which means that even these secondary control surfaces can be used to increase the global efficiency of the system, add some protection, so a new step in this direction. And above that, of course, digital flight control system is one thing, but you need, of course, at the beginning, very efficient aerodynamic control surfaces. And there, with your Falcon, you have almost 20 to 40% more efficiency in any axis compared to some competitors. And another important point, on all aircraft, we have on the leading edge movable slats. Movable slats is a key feature, a key control surfaces to protect the aircraft from stall. And this is the case on all our aircraft. No OEM can say the same on our market segment. Another important point as far as safety is concerned is the fuel system. We have seen in the past some accident to the lack of protection of fuel tanks against ignition. With your Falcon, you are safe. All Falcon models are equipped with pressurized fuel tank. This is an heritage of our military experience. Pressurization reduces significantly the risk of ignition. This is true for all Falcons. In addition, with the 6X, we have had an active inerting system, which is called OBIX, and this brings another added value to this safety and increase the safety margin against fuel ignition. Last but not least, manufacturing quality. Manufacturing quality is key also to ensure safety. In Dassault, we have specific rules to install all our system and wiring. Segregation, repeatability are key design recommendation we have to apply, and even above what the regulation is requiring. For example, you cannot mix digital flight control system routing wiring with other systems, and this in order to prevent this critical system from any risk. This is not the case from some of our competitors. Ask them, ask their OEM, you will see. It's the same for pipes. No pipes under the fuel tanks in order to protect the fuel tanks in case of aborted landing without landing gears. Of course, hopefully, this is not the case every day, but in case it occurs, you will be more protected with a Falcon. I am sure all of you who have already visited our manufactory in Mérignac can agree, can understand what I mean when I speak about manufacturing quality. So this was what we wanted to show you in terms of technology. Keep in mind that thanks to our military heritage, we have far above the competition in terms of technology. We use it in order to improve the general optimization of the aircraft, the efficiency, and we use it in order to improve the safety level. Now, some word about the flexibility. You know that the flexibility also is the key characteristic of Falcon. This is very important because with your aircraft, you want to go everywhere. So flexibility is still there with the 6X, and I'll let Fred comment on this subject.
So it's a fact, the Falcon 6X is an ultra-wide-body business jet. But we all know that for business aviation, flexibility is also a key parameter. For example, when we designed the 6X, the goal was to offer the best association between speed, range, long-range missions, short-range missions, and low-speed performance. Additionally, on the 6X, like on any other Falcons, thanks to the robustness of the structure, you will be able to land at a very heavy weight. It's about 85% of the max takeoff weight. So you will be able to have a huge unrefueled range. And additionally to this, thanks to this new aerodynamics, mainly the wing with the flaps, with the slats, with the flaperon, it will be really the best performer in terms of airfield performance. Finally, in fact, we will offer the steep approach capability like any Falcon, but I would say it's an improved steep approach capability. Because of what? Because we have introduced the flaperon in the digital flight control system, and thanks to the flaperon, we are able to perform a steep approach at a lower angle of attack than we did before in the past. So in terms of situational awareness, it's better. You will have a better view on the runway when doing a steep approach, and it's really a gauge of safety. To illustrate the steep approach capability, I would like to share with you this 7X steep approach down to Lugano, and I come back just after. So remember, this steep approach capabilities is available on any Falcons. So in terms of flexibility, first, let's begin with the unrefueled range. So as I told you, with this robustness of the structure, the 6X will be able to land with about 50% more fuel than the competition. And it means, of course, 50% more range. And thanks to this, you will have a non-refuel range of more than 3,800 nautical miles, which is more than 7,000 kilometers. So to illustrate this, I have an example of a multi-leg mission across Europe. It's an example where you take off from Paris and you land in Geneva. And from Geneva, without refueling, you can still fly from Geneva to Rome, from Rome to Moscow, Moscow to Stockholm, Stockholm to Oslo, and Oslo back to Paris. So without the need to refuel. It means an unrefueled range of about 3,500 nautical miles, Mach 8.5, 8 passengers. Additionally to this, we can talk about airfield performance. And first, takeoff performance. The 6X will maintain the superiority in terms of takeoff performance, whatever the runway conditions, dry or wet. This is an example compared to the G500. You see, dry runway were about the same, but when we switch to a wet runway, the 500 will lose 1,000 feet. It means it will be longer by 1,000 feet at takeoff. It means more than 300 meters. So with the 6X, this will never happen. So you will have the same takeoff performance, whatever the runway condition. So you know that historically, Falcons have always proven their superiority in terms of airfield performance. In fact, their takeoff speeds are about 50 knots lower than the competition. And it has two consequences. First, in terms of performance, with a lower takeoff speed, you will have a shorter takeoff distance. Remember the wet runway on the previous slide. And second is more a gauge of safety. I have chosen the example of the minimum control speed on ground, which is a 97 knots on the 6X and 111 knots on the G500. What does it mean? It means that from brake release, when your aircraft will accelerate, you will reach this minimum control speed on ground. And at this speed, it can be controlled using only its aerodynamics. It means that in case of a one engine failure at takeoff, where you will encounter lateral runway extensions, so you will be able to control the aircraft much sooner than if you are at 97 knots than if you are on 111 knots. So it's really a gauge of safety. And what we saw on takeoff, we will see on landing, it's exactly the same conclusion. It means that the Falcons will offer lower approach speeds and shorter landing distances. For example, here we are 109 knots compared to 123 knots on the Gulfstream. You see it's a difference of about 400 feet, so more than 120 meters. Just to come back on the Teterboro incident, Gulfstream, following this incident, set new limitation on in each day operations. I would say it means that they must increase all the speeds by 5 knots. It means that simply without any wind, the approach speed of the 500 has been increased by 5 knots. It's why it's 123 knots basically. In addition, they have to set some crosswind limitations. You see that on the Falcons, in terms of crosswind limitation, we are at 30 knots and 40 knots if we include the gust. On the Gulfstream, with these new limitations, they are at 22 knots, including gust. It's very low, and we all know that we have in mind a lot of airports across Europe or across the world where we can have more than 20 knots in terms of crosswind. And at Dassault, we are sure that this situation will continue for a long time, this kind of limitation of the Gulfstream. So just to conclude on flexibility, you saw that in terms of cabin, we will have the biggest cabin on the market, but in terms of flexibility, the 6X will keep the Falcon core values, which are the technology, the safety, and the flexibility. Patrick?
So thank you Frédéric, for your presentation and your synthesis. And I hope everybody have understood that with the 6X, you will get the best in every domain. Biggest, most comfortable cabin, highest level of technology and safety, still a very flexible Falcon. And now I will show you that even for environmental aspects, it will be the same. So when we speak about environment, two main aspects, noise aspects, external noise aspects, and CO2 emission. Regarding noise, the objective is to be compatible with Chapter 14, so far above the actual regulation, Chapter 14 with margin. This is for the certification level. And in addition, we will develop, as usual, specific noise abatement procedure that will provide thanks to the maneuverability of the aircraft, will provide significant operational noise reduction in order we cope with any local limitation that could appear in the future. This is for noise. For CO2 emission, CO2 is directly linked to fuel consumption, and you know that in this field, the Falcon are the most fuel-efficient aircraft on the market. 20 to 60% more fuel efficiency if you have a look on the existing fleet, even with the same breakdown in terms of market segmentation, 20 to 60%. So when you fly a Falcon, you can be proud because you take care of the environment. With the 6X, it will be the same, continuous improvement in this field. In addition, all our Falcons are compatible with already certified and future certified sustainable aviation fuel, biofuel, which have a positive effect on the CO2 emission, global CO2 emission. And not the last but not least, this aircraft will also be compatible with future CO2 standard regulation. You know that in the future, all aircraft will have to be certified in terms of CO2 emission, same time of certification as we have to cope with for the noise. And this aircraft will be compatible with this regulation with margins. This is a proof that we have taken all the provision, all the margin required in order to make the best in this field. So this conclude our presentation on the 6X presentation. I hope everything was clear for you. In any case, if you need more information, don't hesitate to go through your sales representative, and of course, we will answer any question. Now, an update and a short update of the program. During last NBAA, our president presented this chart. This was the first wing assembly. It was in October 2019. This is past already, of course. The second one, also presented during last NBAA, was the fuselage assembly. It was achieved also in November for the first aircraft. And still, now we have made significant progress. The first quarter this year, the first wing to fuselage junction performed. You see this famous piano junction there. This is a major milestone for the program, aircraft number 1. This has been achieved in March. And aircraft number 2 and 3 are also under production, under integration phase. After that, another milestone was the start of the ground test. The first aircraft has been power, electrical and hydraulic and fuel test started, as well as digital flight controls test. So a lot of tests already performed. So everything is on track, and we will perform the first flight as we committed first beginning of next year. A view on the cockpit, you have seen a very nice view, and you can appreciate the general volume, as said before, in the cockpit. In terms of engine, the Pratt & Whitney 812 engine demonstrator has been flying since July 2018. The engine core is over 16,000 hours now. The first Pratt & Whitney engine flight test campaign has been executed in 2020, and the performance and behavior are within expectation. Certification activity started with the most stringent test performed, icing condition, fans blade out, and this will continue until end of this year. And first engine and nacelle have also been assembled. The second flight test campaign is starting soon, before summer, and this campaign will be performed with the real engine dedicated to the first flight. And the first flight, as I said before, is planned for beginning next year, 2021, and certification and entry into service in 2022. So thank you very much, everybody. This is the end of our presentation, and now I'll let Séverine conclude this webinar.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, everyone, for attending this webinar. This was really a great experience for all of us today to share with you this exciting news about our new Falcon 6X program, and we hope you enjoyed it too. Once again, feel free to reach out to your sales director for further information on the 6X or on any of our programs. Stay healthy and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.